Ma'am, I think you're in the wrong place. The words land softly, but the smirk behind them makes the entire sentence sting. A few nearby diners chuckle. An elderly black woman stands near the hostess podium, fingers wrapped around the strap of her worn handbag. She doesn't look angry. She doesn't look confused. She looks patient. Across the restaurant, a sharply dressed man at the bar slowly lowers his glass. He doesn't say a word. He just watches. And that's when everything begins. 30 minutes earlier, the waterfront glows under the evening lights of Seattle. Harbor Ember sits like a jewel against the water. Crystal chandeliers, linen-draped tables, soft piano floating through air thick with expensive cologne and ambition. This is where reservations are made weeks in advance, where servers memorize wine regions like scripture, where image is everything. In the kitchen, the head chef tastes, adjusts, plates with surgical precision. Out front, staff gathers for pre-service briefing. Vanessa Clark, general manager, scans her tablet. Mid-40s, elegant, exacting. 15 years in fine dining. She believes she can read people instantly. Morrison party at 7, she says crisply. Tech executive, high visibility, flawless service. Chad Lawson nods. Late 20s, perfect hair, sharper ambition. He's the face of refinement here. He knows wine. He knows presentation. He knows how to make the right guest feel seen. We also have a Greene reservation, Vanessa adds. 7:30, no notes, no history. Chad frowns. Greene? Don't recognize it. Neither do I. Could be new money. Keep an eye on it. The staff disperses. The doors open at 6. At 7:20, Martha Greene steps inside. Navy coat carefully pressed. Silver-streaked hair neatly styled. An old handbag polished to a soft shine. A small gold cross at her throat. Sensible shoes. She pauses just inside, taking in the room. Not intimidated, not impressed. Observant. The hostess, young, practiced smile, gives Martha a quick once-over. The smile tightens. Good evening. Do you have a reservation? Martha nods gently. Yes, under Greene. The hostess scrolls, her brows lift. There is a reservation. Table 12, 7:30, 2 guests. But before she can respond, Chad appears. He's been watching. He glances at Martha, then the hostess, then back. We're fully committed tonight, he says smoothly. Private events. The hostess hesitates. There's actually a... Chad gives her a look. She stops. Martha notices. She's seen this before. I don't mind waiting, she says kindly. My son made the reservation. Chad exhales, almost sympathetic. Ma'am, this isn't really a waiting kind of establishment. A couple enters behind Martha. Mid-30s, designer everything. No reservation. Chad's entire demeanor shifts. Welcome to Harbor and Ember. Let me see what I can do. 60 seconds later, they're seated at a window table. Martha remains standing. No water, no seat, no acknowledgement. Across the room, Jordan Greene watches from the bar. Tailored charcoal suit, burgundy tie, quiet confidence. He's been nursing bourbon for 20 minutes, positioned to see the entrance clearly. His phone buzzes. A text from his attorney. Papers ready to sign. Just need your green light. Jordan types back. Hold off. Observing something first. He sets the phone down and continues watching. Who gets greeted warmly? Who gets wine before asking? Who gets rushed? Who gets dismissed? His mother. His grip tightens on the glass, but he doesn't move. Not yet. Martha stands near the podium for 3 more minutes. Staff pass her. Some glance, most don't. A server nearly bumps into her, apologizes quickly, hurries on. Another couple arrives. Reservation confirmed. Seated immediately. Martha adjusts her handbag and waits. Finally, she approaches the hostess again. Excuse me, the reservation is under Greene, for 2, 7:30. The hostess looks uncomfortable. She glances toward Chad, who's schmoozing at table 6. Let me check with the manager. Vanessa appears moments later, tablet in hand. She looks at Martha, then the reservation, then back at Martha. Her finger hovers over the screen for just a second. She could seat her. The table is available, but she glances at the dining room, at the Morrisons, at the image. She makes a choice. Mrs. Greene, Vanessa says with professional warmth that doesn't land. I see the reservation. However, we're experiencing capacity issues. Would you be open to rescheduling? We'd offer a complimentary appetizer next time. Martha meets her gaze. My son wanted tonight to be special. It's my birthday. Vanessa's smile falters. Happy birthday, but given the circumstances. What circumstances? Vanessa hesitates. Chad slides into the conversation. What Vanessa means is that Harbor and Ember caters to a very specific clientele. It's about fit. The word hangs. Martha doesn't flinch. I see. Perhaps somewhere more casual would be more comfortable, Chad continues. There's a bistro down the block, great reviews, very welcoming. A woman at table 9 whispers, is she lost? Someone at table 4, maybe she's looking for the service entrance. Quiet laughter. Martha hears it. She simply adjusts her coat and waits. Jordan watches his mother standing there, invisible. Every instinct screams to intervene, but he doesn't. Because 3 weeks ago, when he told Martha about the acquisition, she'd asked one question. Do they treat people right? He'd shown her the numbers, staff retention, reviews. She'd shaken her head. That's not what I asked. So they'd planned this, a test. Jordan made the reservation under her name, not his, arrived early, positioned himself to observe, and now he's seeing exactly what she suspected. 10 minutes pass. Piano, conversations, laughter. Chad delivers plates, recommends wines, tells a burgundy anecdote that makes guests laugh. He passes Martha without acknowledgement. Vanessa checks VIP tables. She doesn't check on Martha. Finally, Martha approaches Chad one more time. Calm, patient, steel underneath. Sir, I've waited nearly 20 minutes. My reservation was for 7:30. My son will be here any moment. I would appreciate being seated. Chad glances at his watch, then at her, as if she's disrupted his carefully orchestrated evening. Ma'am, I've tried to be polite, but I really think you'd be happier somewhere else. He leans in slightly, voice lower. Maybe next year choose somewhere more appropriate for your occasion. The words slice through the air. A few nearby tables go quiet. Martha looks at him for a long moment. Appropriate, she repeats softly. Chad shrugs, almost apologetic. I'm just being honest. That's when Jordan stands. He doesn't storm over. He sets his glass down with a quiet clink that cuts through the noise. And he walks. Every step measured. Every eye beginning to follow. A man at the bar notices him, nods respectfully. Mr. Greene. Jordan nods back but doesn't stop. He crosses the dining room with presence that makes conversations pause. He reaches Martha and embraces her. Not for show, just a son and his mother. Happy birthday, Mama. The room stills. Martha smiles, her hand on his arm. You took your time. I needed to see something, Jordan says quietly. She nods. And did you? Yeah, I did. Jordan turns to Chad. The warmth drains from his face. Did you tell my mother to choose somewhere more appropriate? Chad forces a laugh. Sir, if there's been a misunderstanding, answer the question. Chad glances at Vanessa, who's appeared face pale. We were managing expectations, Vanessa says carefully. The reservation lacked context. Context, Jordan repeats. What context did you need? Silence. Jordan looks around the room, every table watching. How many of you were offered water while you waited? Wine? A seat at the bar? No one answers. My mother waited 20 minutes, No water, no seat, no acknowledgement. Two couples who arrived after her, with no reservations, were seated immediately. He looks back at Chad. Why? Chad stammers. We maintain certain standards, a certain... Say it, Jordan says quietly. Chad can't. Jordan reaches into his jacket, removes a slim leather folder, places it on the hostess stand. As of Monday, I will control 51% of Harbor and Ember. The room goes silent. Vanessa's mouth opens, closes. Jordan continues. This building, this brand, this staff, currently under acquisition. I invited my mother here because she worked 3 jobs to put me through college, because she taught me everything about dignity, because I wanted to celebrate with her. He pauses. And because I wanted to see how you treat people who don't look profitable. Chad's face drains of color. Jordan looks at him directly. You evaluated my mother based on her coat, her age, the handbag she's carried 30 years because my father gave it to her before he died. Martha touches his arm gently. You offered strangers a table. You offered her an exit. Sir, Vanessa says, voice shaking, we had no way of knowing. Exactly, Jordan says. You didn't know, so you made assumptions. And those assumptions told my mother she didn't belong. He looks at Chad. Go home. Effective immediately. Vanessa steps forward. Mr. Greene, please. Jordan raises a hand. I'm not firing him tonight. That surprises everyone. I'm suspending him, pending review, because I don't believe in public humiliation as justice. He turns to the room. Tonight isn't about revenge. It's about choice. Everyone here made a choice about who deserves respect. Martha steps forward. When I was a little girl, she says steadily, my mother cleaned homes in Beacon Hill. Beautiful homes she'd never be invited to sit in. One day I asked if it made her angry. The room listens. She said, never let someone else's small mind shrink your spirit, and never let their cruelty make you cruel. Martha looks at Chad, who can't meet her eyes. Young man, you don't owe me an apology. You owe yourself a hard look in the mirror, because how you treated me tonight, that's not about me. That's about what you believe people are worth. She turns to Jordan. But he's young. People can learn, if they want to. Jordan nods. He addresses Vanessa. Starting next month, mandatory bias and hospitality training. Real training, not a video. Actual education. Vanessa nods quickly. Absolutely. One Friday each month, Harbor and Ember host community dinners, subsidized, open seating, no dress code, everyone welcome. Murmurs ripple through the room. Every staff member participates because hospitality isn't about exclusivity, it's about humanity. He pauses. My mother taught me that power without empathy is just noise. Tonight, I'm asking all of you to think about what you saw, what you ignored, what you accepted. Martha smiles. Now, can we please eat? I've been on my feet for half an hour. A few people laugh, uncertain, then genuine. Vanessa personally escorts them to table 12. She pulls out Martha's chair herself. Mrs. Greene, she says quietly, I'm sorry, truly. Martha looks at her, then nods. Thank you. As they sit, the piano resumes, but something has shifted. Conversations are quieter, more thoughtful. A woman at table 9 catches Martha's eye, nods apologetically. Martha nods back. Chad stands near the kitchen, face showing shame and shock. For the first time tonight, he's actually thinking. Jordan raises his water glass. To dignity. Martha clinks hers against his. To character and second chances. You think he'll learn? Jordan asks quietly. Martha considers. I don't know, but he's seen himself tonight. Really seen himself. What he does with that is up to him. And if he doesn't change, then he won't last. Not here. Not anywhere that matters. They order. The meal arrives. And for the first time all evening, Martha Greene is treated as she should have been from the start. With respect. Not because of who her son is, but because that's what every person deserves. Later over coffee, Jordan asks, "Was it worth it? Putting yourself through that?" Martha is quiet for a moment. "You know what I realized tonight?" she says. "Respect shouldn't depend on who's watching. It should be given because we're all human. Period." She squeezes his hand. "You can buy a restaurant, baby, but you can't buy character. That has to be chosen every single day by every single person." Jordan nods slowly. "I'm proud of you," Martha continues. "Not because you have money, but because you used your power to make space for people who don't have it." "I learned from the best," Martha smiles. "Then remember this. Never shrink to fit a table that doesn't deserve you, and never make someone else shrink to fit yours." Jordan commits those words to memory. Outside, as they walk to the valet, Martha pauses. She looks back at Harbor and Ember, the lights, the elegance, the image. "You know what's funny?" she says. "What?" "I didn't even want to eat here. Too fancy for my taste." Jordan laughs. "Then why'd you agree?" Martha smiles. "Because you needed to know. And because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is show up where people don't expect you and refuse to shrink." The valet brings the car. Jordan opens the door for his mother. As they drive away, the lights of Harbor and Ember fade behind them. But the lesson lingers. Inside, Vanessa sits in her office, tablet open, reviewing the evening. She pulls up staff files, training schedules, community outreach proposals. Her finger hovers over Chad's employment record. She doesn't delete it. She marks it. Probation, mandatory review in 30 days. Then she starts typing an email to the entire staff. Subject line, "Who we choose to be." At home, Chad sits in his apartment, still in his work clothes. His phone buzzes. Text from a coworker. "Dude, what happened?" He doesn't respond. Instead, he replays the evening. Every word, every choice. "Maybe next year choose somewhere more appropriate." His own voice echoes back at him. He closes his eyes. And for the first time in a long time, he asks himself a question he's been avoiding. Who am I becoming? Martha and Jordan pull into her driveway. Before she gets out, she says one more thing. "Remember tonight, Jordan, not just what happened, but why it mattered." "I will. And remember, you can't force people to change. You can only give them the choice and the space to make it." Jordan nods. Martha kisses his cheek and steps out of the car. As she walks to her door, Jordan watches her go. Strong, graceful, undiminished. And he understands finally what she's been trying to teach him all along. Dignity isn't given by others. It's claimed by how you carry yourself. And respect shouldn't depend on who's watching. It should be the baseline of how we treat every soul we encounter. The camera pulls back, the city glows, and somewhere in Seattle, a restaurant begins to change. Not because it was forced, but because someone finally held up a mirror.